welcome to an unboxing and first look in standard definition. Wow, it's like going back in time. So we're going to be having a look at the Zalman ZM-NC3500 Plus. Now the baby is sleeping, so I do have to be quiet. I apologize for that, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it right now. So this is a premium notebook cooler with built-in 2-channel USB sound card and dual amplifiers. It also has their enhanced, okay, so that's pretty much stereo sound, built-in stereo speakers, a 4x USB 2 hub, and a 220mm or 22cm cooling fan. It supports notebooks up to 17 inches. Now, if you guys have a gaming, okay, you know what, let's finish with the box first. So, enhanced stereo sound, we got that. Okay, typical notebook, we got that too. Maximum cooling performance and ergonomic design, cool. This looks like most of the same stuff. Dynamic airflow design, I don't think we've covered that. Ooh, sound control buttons. Dun dun dun. On, off, mute, volume down, volume up. Okay, and so yeah, if you guys have a gaming notebook, or you know anyone who has a gaming notebook, what you probably know about them is that they run really hot. They tend to have big cooling fan, well that's a small cooling fan, but there's a big cooling fan somewhere. I think it's down here, and there's the intakes, there's the exhausts, big heat sinks, and especially if you run them on a carpet, or on a bed, or even on a table, a lot of the time they can run really, really hot. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be firing up a game on this MSI GX660R. We're going to fire it up on the table, and then we are going to use the ZM-NC3500 Plus to see if that improves the temperatures of the CPU and the GPU on this notebook. So let's first get the unboxing out of the way. So the sound of styrofoam very rarely wakes up babies, right? Alright, that wasn't so bad. Oh, that was worse. Okay. That's great. More styrofoam. And of course my notebook didn't shut down correctly. Okay, there we go, that's cool. Let's get the cooler out. Alright, so notebook cooler. There's your 22cm fan right there, so it's pretty big. Right? This looks giving me the nod, it's pretty big. Okay, so you got rubber grippies here, 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 and here. Now there's a reason that it's shaped like this. So number one is you got speakers on either side. There's your volume control right here. On, off, mute, down and up. Other side, not a whole lot. At the back, you've got, fan speed. I was like, volume? Really, again? But it's not. So PC, there's your USB hub, so that's sort of feeding that. And there's the power in, which will give you powered USB in as well as powering the fan, potentially, I guess? I don't know. Ah, yes, the angle. So the angle is important on these things because that's what actually makes it more ergonomic to use. For example, slightly tilted down is more comfortable to type on when you're sitting in front of it. You can always adjust the screen because it's a notebook. And the screens usually fold on notebooks, just like this. Okay, so here's the laptop running on the table. We're just taking an idle reading right now. So the CPU is anywhere from 48 to 51 degrees. The GPU is running at 47 degrees, so we've got a log running on the real temp monitor for the quad-core CPU that's in this notebook. And we're just going to go ahead and launch a game to see what kind of temperatures we can generate in a real-world sort of gaming laptop type of load. So as you can see, I don't have a lot of games installed on this particular computer. Out of all of these, I think trying to is probably the most demanding, which is sort of pathetic, but there you go. Steam needs to come. Oh, come on, are you kidding? Okay, well, we'll be back. So we've been running for a little while here. That'll give us some idea of what kind of temps we're dealing with. So we're just going to Alt-Tab out really quick. CPU's at around 60 degrees. And let's check out the GPU. So GPU peaked around 68 degrees, which actually isn't that bad. So let's go ahead and put on the notebook cooler. Let's do it without the fan first. And let's see if running a game we can actually get those temperatures to change at all. So just for our own reference, that was a pen, like a bowl. Don't worry though, that's from yesterday. It's not old. There's a pen. This is actually a sweet pen because it has a light built into the other end of it. Fire pen. Okay, so I've got one of my cards. These are old cards, you can tell, because NCIX has 4 locations. We're up to like 11 now or something. So yeah, that's an old card. That, and I think one of these locations doesn't even exist anymore. The Richmond, well no, that's the right Richmond one at least. That's pretty good. That's the only Aberdeen Mall, so these aren't older than about maybe 3 years old. So, yeah, 60. See, this is how, sort of, this is how professional we are. Okay, so bear in mind, guys, I am not running this with the fan on right now. So we're just finding out if having it raised, having the mesh underneath the notebook is going to help with the CPU and GPU temperatures versus having the notebook right up against the table. Bearing in mind, the table is already a pretty decent scenario for your gaming notebook, whereas if you're running it like, in bed or something, it would be great to have a stand like this, keeping the sheets from suffocating the fans. So we'll be back in a second once we let it run for a little bit. Okay, so let's find out what kind of temps we're dealing with without the fan running, but with the note. Okay, so we're looking at, that's a couple degrees cooler on the CPU. That's 58 degrees on the hottest core, and we actually dropped, no, GPU looks like it's running about the same at 68 degrees. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fire the game back up. Okay, get that running again. Remember, we're getting load temperatures here, guys. That's kind of the idea. Because really you don't need a notebook cooler if you're just going to be idling. And oh, are you kidding me? See, these are high profile plugs. So what that means is that if your USB ports are right next to each other, that won't work. So you're going to want to go ahead and separate those out a little bit, which is doable. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to turn that fan right up to max. So there you go. You can see the fan is spinning now. Although, pretty quiet even at max. There's a bit of a tick there. I wonder what that's all about. So we'll go ahead and find out if the fan improves the temperatures of our notebook. And yeah. So this is the final test. Remember, guys, we were at about 60 degrees on the CPU and about 68 degrees on the GPU. We've left it running for another 5 minutes or so. And let's find out if the forced air cooling decreases the temperatures. So it looks like the room has actually gotten a little hotter, because that's the only explanation I can think of for why the GPU maxed out at 69 this time, and the CPU is running again at about 58 degrees. So what it comes down to with this is if your laptop has adequate ventilation already, and you're not looking at a scenario where you're using it on a carpet or on other sort of fabric surface, sitting in bed, this would be a perfect thing to put on your lap. But if you're just using your notebook on a desk and you don't need the ergonomic advantage of having it tilted like this, then there's probably less of an advantage to a notebook cooler than you might have actually thought. Now we're going to test the sound really quickly here as well. We'll be right back. Okay, so basically after a short test, listening to some, whoops, well, EAS, is that how you say that? I don't even know. But at any rate, what we concluded is that the speakers built into the notebook cooler are definitely louder than the ones built into this particular notebook. However, maybe it's due to the fact that MSI implemented their Dynaudio sound system with this particular notebook, which means it does actually have really good speakers compared to most laptops. The sound quality was significantly better than the ones that are built into the notebook cooler. Part of that could be not even to do with the speakers that they're using or the sound chipset, but just due to the way that the speakers are covered by this plastic cap with only open ports right here and right here. I think that might be hampering them and the performance that they're delivering in some ways. So thank you for checking out my unboxing and first look at, I don't remember the one number, at the ZM-NC3500 Plus from Zalman. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.